Now let us see how the data and from where the data is coming. The data, there are multiple sources from which we get the data. They are from the web sources or third-party apps or mobiles or enterprise apps or ERP or IoT. These are the multiple sources from where we expect the data. Going to the next slide. Yeah, these are symptoms of the fundamental challenges. There are multiple challenges which are ongoing with the on-premise using on-premise tools. Okay, it can be like data silos, cost, performance, inflexibility, and complexity, and the latency issues as well. So, when coming to the data silos, what is data silos? Data silos is nothing but a repository of data that is controlled by one department or business, and it is isolated from the rest of the organization. That means it makes the other users to restrict the data usage. So suppose there is a HR department and some other department like some other sales department. So HR department has the privileges and everything related to the HR data, or the users related to um, sales has only access to the sales data. So this is called the data silos. Okay, there is no connection, or what I mean to say is the person or the user from the sales has no access to the HR data. This is called the data silos. When coming to the cost is nothing but what is the amount required to maintain the hardware and the software. The performance is nothing but the latency issues. What is the meaning of the latency? Latency is nothing but the process high volume of data within a minimum delay, with a minimum delay. That is called the latency, like how quickly you're getting the response. Okay, what is inflexibility? Means scaling up to the higher, say suppose you have the space, the amount or the data for the data you have only 2 GB. Okay, for the storage. For again, if the data increases, say suppose if you'll get the unexpected amount of data, like say suppose if it is 100 GB, say for tomorrow you'll get some petabytes of data. So you should scale up your hardware resources and your software also to handle that high amount of data. So this is called the inflexibility. Data, the consistency remains same for a limited amount of data. What if the data increases? Does the consistency remain same, or it decreases the performance? Okay, and the complexity is nothing but if you are integrating with the multiple sources, how uh, the integration is going on, whether it is leading to the complex situation where there are multiple sources to be handled, and how the integration process is done. So we'll go with the evolution of the data platforms, like how from the beginning how the evolution of the data platforms has come. So in the 1980s we have Oracle DB2 SQL Server, whereas coming to the like 1990s we have Teradata applications. This is also data warehouse Teradata, and coming to 2000s we have Vertica, Greenplum, and Hadoop and all. Now coming to 2010, so here from where we have got a boom into the cloud era. Let me tell you with a small example. Yeah, here say if in the current market you can say it's like when you buy a car. The other scenario is you rent a car, and the other one is pay per trip. These are three scenarios. What is there in the market? So when you buy a car, you can see it as on premise. You are maintaining the cost and everything. You are the whole and sole person for this car. Okay. When you rent a car, okay, it is just like cloud. You are just utilizing the services. It is a serverless. It is serverless cloud. Okay. Your Teradata comes here. Teradata is like buying a car. It's an on-premise one. The Redshift is like rent a car. Now the snowflake is just like you pay as per your trip. So here, when you buy a car, the upfront cost and high maintenance is high maintenance, and the cost incurred will be also high. Whereas here, you do not have such things. High maintenance. Here also you'll have high maintenance, but this board, okay, you'll have high maintenance also. Whereas for the snowflake, you do not have no upfront cost and the low maintenance. Okay, let us go back to our topic. Now we'll see how the evolution of the snowflake has come. Who founded that? The snowflake was founded in the year 2012 by a few of the folks from the Oracle itself. So the entire snowflake, everything will be in the form of SQL only. Like whatever you write, whatever you do, the coding and everything will be in the SQL only. So since they are from the Oracle, they thought of keeping it a very simple as per the Oracle only. So in 2012, there are more than 3 members who has founded the Snowflake. Okay, and it has it was initially released in the stealth mode. Or what is stealth? You in the 2014. Stealth mode is nothing but whenever any company is releasing some product, they make sure that it is not known to the outside world or the competitors. If the competitors know that they are releasing some product, what they will do is they'll create another product similar to that product, and they will make sure that uh, they grab all the customers to themselves. So this is called the stealth mode. What the snowflake was initially released in 2014 in the stealth mode, and there are only handpicked customers. Firstly, it was available in public in 2015, and it has listed in New York Stock Exchange in the IPO recently. And earlier there were only 30 customers, and now it has more than 2000 customers for Snowflake. It is generally available now from 2012. We'll see how the new adoptions for the cloud data warehouse. And for this Microsoft, you can see there is in the market there are very less number of companies are using Microsoft. Then you have AWS. Then you comparatively you have Google. And now for the Snowflake, you have the high market where most of the companies are migrating there from on-premise to the cloud. So everything you see now, like the top companies are migrating from the on-premise to cloud. These are the key features of the Snowflake, that is micro-partition, clustered tables, sharing data between accounts, zero clones, fail-safe, support for semi-structured data, Snowpipe for continuous data ingestion, and caching results external uh, tables. These are the key features which make Snowflake different from the other cloud technologies. So why the Snowflake? Says you can see here what makes it different the Snowflake to stand out of the market. Here comparatively, like Snowflake, Google, AWS, and Microsoft, what makes the difference for Snowflake to stand is Snowflake has got extensive documentation, which Google, AWS, and Microsoft do not have. It in the Snowflake documentation you have each and everything with an example, which makes a user to understand better. Okay, we'll move on to the next slide.